My name is Tessier. I'm President and CEO of Delta Resources. We've been in the business, I guess, Delta's been since 2019, June 2019, and we made this significant discovery in 2022, right next to the Trans-Canada Highway near Thunder Bay, Ontario, and we've been exploring this project ever since. So this is who we are. We are a Canadian explorer exploring right here for gold in Ontario, one of the best jurisdictions in the world. We trade under DLTA on the TSX venture. We have 134 million shares outstanding. We're trading 16, 17 cents with a market cap of about $20 million Canadian with a cash position of 5.6 million. Currently, management and insiders own about 20% of the company. Institutions is about 14%, and the rest is mostly retail. I'm going to be discussing the Delta 1 project, which is our flagship project right here in Ontario. As you can see, the Delta project is located 50 kilometers from the port city of Thunder Bay. We are an easy 45-minute drive right to our discovery. What you can see here is power lines. So the property is huge. At this point, we expanded our property. We've got about 315 square kilometers of property here that is largely unexplored and has not been explored since our discovery. So we've got this new model that has not been tested over 315 square kilometers. The discovery is right here, right next to the Trans-Canada Highway. I'll show you just how close. We currently have two power lines, one to the north, one to the south, and there is a third power line called the Waseega transmission line that is high voltage that is coming up in the coming years. In terms of infrastructure, there is nowhere better that you would want to be. This is as a crow flies. We're looking towards the north. We're on a drone. The Trans-Canada Highway, that's the problem with Verify. That's the Trans-Canada Highway is located right here. And if I had to draw the surface expression of the deposit, it would be right here. You can see some drill pads just to the north. Those are drilled underneath the Trans-Canada Highway to get to the deposit. So a few things you'll notice here. One is there's not very many trees. This is northern Ontario. There used to be trees. Most of it's been logged right now. We're actually sitting on a topographic high. So again, in terms of location, it couldn't get any better. We are, the infrastructure that is there, the proximity to Thunder Bay, the fact that this is an environmentally disturbed area means that everything should be accelerated and those costs should be very reduced. So we're going to go underground now. We're looking towards the north again. We're going to go underground to take a look at what the deposit looks like. So the deposit at the end of 2023, we did with about 25,000 meters of drilling only, we did an internal calculation. So it's not a resource estimate per se, but it was done in the same way. And at the time, the mineralization extended over 2.2 kilometers. We've now extended it to 2.5. At the time, it was from surface to 250 meters vertical and up to 150 meters in width. Again, this is right from surface. Using the state-of-the-art component, again, we can't call it a 43-101, so I'll call it a gold inventory of anywhere between 1.2 million ounces and 2.2 million ounces, grading anywhere between 1.05 to 1.3 grams per ton gold. This was done by capping all of our values at 10 gram and using a 0.3 grams per ton gold cutoff grade. We have since expanded the deposit, but we have yet to renew this model. Now, what you'll notice as well is that there is a high-grade core in this deposit, and I'm going to flip this model to show you the surface view of the deposit. And what we have at surface is what we would call a starter pit that would basically have a zero strip ratio because it's right at surface. And you can tell the grades there are probably going to be in the neighborhood of 1.7 to 2 grams per ton gold. Just to give everybody vertigo, we're now looking towards the east, and this is about 150 meters wide, and you can see just some of our newer intercepts at depth. This was drilled in 2024. This is what the mineralization looks like. In my opinion, there's two major ingredients for large economic deposit, one of which is the system has to be long-lived. The mineralization looks like this, so we have a stockwork of mineralization, and we recognize a very minimum of 5 to 6 generations of veinlets into that deposit. And what that means is that the mineralizing processes were operating for a very long time, for a protracted amount of time, which gives the deposit the chance to become big. We are here, the location of the deposit, we are in the Shabandowan Greenstone Belt. We are in a crustal scale structure that marks the northern boundary of the Greenstone Belt, which is also gold endowed. I'm going to zoom in quickly to the deposit itself. So in between those two lines is the mineralized structure. All the rocks within that area are very intensely altered, and every rock type is mineralized. Again, that is another indication of a large system when your alteration system is very large around it. What you'll notice here, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, but the pink horizons here, those are dikes. They are intrusions that you can see are very spatially related with the gold deposit in red on this slide, but also we think now genetically related. And those dikes look like this. So the upper image here just shows the types of dikes that are very fresh, so barely even altered. But when you get into the mineralized zone, this is what they look like. So they are bleached, they are altered, the textures are completely destroyed. Again, this is a sign of a system that's very strong, very intense, and in our case, protracted. Now, it leads me to our efforts right now. So we started a 10,000 meter phase of drilling in mid-January of 2025. We unfortunately don't have any assays yet, but I can show you the very latest of what we've discovered so far. The objective of this new drill program is to show just how big this system can be. So what we did, I'll bring your attention to two drill holes here, drill hole 119 and 117, that are respectively almost 800 meters deep and 600 meters deep. And this is what we intercepted at depth. So we are now at about 550 meters vertical in this intersection here. And I just put this slide here as a reminder of what the intrusion looks like when they're not mineralized. But the dike swarm that we intersected here is well over 200 meters, and the rocks are completely bleached, very much like the core of the deposit so far. So again, unfortunately, I don't have assays to present. I wish I did. But what this shows us is that the system is getting very, very large. We've already had analysts that suggest the deposit looks very much like the Canadian Malartic deposit in the Val-d'Or district of Quebec in terms of geological setting, timing of mineralization, alteration, the size. Well, we hope we'd get there because Canadian Malartic is about 17 million ounces of gold. And this is just to give you an example of where we are now. So this is the longitudinal section of the Canadian Malartic deposit so far. And this is all of the drilling that's ever been done at Delta so far. And that latest intercept I just showed you is about located right here. So we're getting there. We're starting to show just how big this deposit can be. So the takeaways here is we are in one of the best jurisdictions in the world. We are right next to infrastructure, 50 kilometers away from a large center in Ontario. We have all the ingredients for a major gold deposit. We've already proven nearly 2 million ounces. We are drilling right now. So far, we've got about 35,000 meters drilled. We have another 10,000 meters before the summer, and we will reevaluate coming. So we have the money in the kitty, we're ready to do this, and we're ready to prove this. Thanks very much.